What's up? Welcome to the Seance. How's it going, everyone? This is obviously the Seance. This is where I just interview a new show I'm gonna do where I just interview people, and this is part two of the Mikey Sutton interview. I started part one. Well, it wasn't. It just ended up being we had to do more because we just didn't get enough in, so we had to do a part two. It just had to happen. So, what's up? We got Zod Rider. Good show last night. Watched the rest of it this morning, sir. Good job. Good job. And of course, we got to say what's up to Socks. What's up? One of the biggest Mikey supporters in the world. And of course, Mama Bear Art Doll. Salutes. And without further ado, let's bring Mikey in. Here we go. What's up, Mikey?
Oh, what a pleasure to be with Lord Necron here tonight.
The pleasure is all mine.
You know, dude, I'm serious. That theme song you got, you had the most badass intro, by the way. That is
Oh,
just
thanks, man.
everything kicks ass about that intro, man. It just like it just pumps me up. I feel like I'm reading a book right now or something. I don't know what to do. I just feel like I gotta get off my ass and do something, dude.
Yeah, that
Like,
intro.
God, yeah.
I found like different music and I just threw it together, but I didn't want it to be like the like my usual extreme metal that
Yeah.
I do for my other show. I want it to be a little more industrial
It's
metal.
very industrial, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a perfect word for it, So, Necron,
Yes, sir.
as you know, maybe the audience here doesn't know yet, I'm planning a soundtrack for the comic book. We're going to have a free CD inside, a little
Oh,
Dreamwalker CD for issue 6. And we're going to have some people I know doing songs for the soundtrack. Vega's doing songs about, Silver. Sil Abdul, a YouTuber.
yes.
And we're gonna have Necron do some songs. Well, we all know the one "Fuck the Betas," which is your theme song. That
Yes. Yes,
I have.
sir.
I'll have the lyrics to you by this weekend for that. But
Perfect.
I'm also wanting you to do a song about Silver, actually about Silver and Alice, who's Alicia, our friend Alicia, who's modeled. I modeled Alice after her.
For
So
sure. Awesome.
gonna write a song about her and Silver called Blood Rain, and would love you to do the music for that song. Um,
You
reason
can
why I
count on
bring
that.
this up is that I want that industrial sound for this song that you just had there, kind of a
Okay.
gothic industrial sound. Um, and where does this all tie into? 'Cause, I'm so meta, dude. Everything ties with something else.
Yeah.
Never is
Always.
always. Everything is connected,
Always.
right? Everything's
Yeah.
connected. So our good friend, the great Austin, the good Austin, I should say, um, he is going to do a trailer for Dreamwalker 3.
I
Man,
heard about this. Actually,
yeah,
I think I was there when you asked them.
yeah,
That's
exactly. You were there
Yeah,
actually.
I was there. Yeah,
Yeah,
initially,
yeah,
I haven't heard much else on it, but yeah,
yeah. So the good Austin and I are throwing ideas back and forth, and he sent me his storyboards. Where this guy is really committed, and I was amazed by what I saw.
oh, Austin's he's
Yeah, so like,
great
oh,
at
he's
editing.
fantastic, right?
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
we're actually working together on this trailer now. I love his ideas and letting him know what my limitations are. And what I want to do, Necron, is I want to have that Blood Rain song in that trailer,
Oh, damn. Okay.
and that way the trailer has a soundtrack. Um, and I think it'd be perfect to, promote the CD. It's coming up in a few months. To give people a little taste of what to expect for the soundtrack. So keep that in mind. I will message you and email you the lyrics and everything. But
Yeah,
I love that
I will need
industrial
that.
sound, man. This is fucking awesome. I think of like Ministry and things like that.
Yeah, Ministry, like Sock saying 9 Inch Nails.
Nine Inch Nails, yeah.
I liked back in the 90s. I used to like. A lot of people hate on it now, but I still like it. Was Fair Factory when they went more
Oh
into
yeah,
a
yeah.
industrial sound. I thought it was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I do admire that style. Now,
And the one I think of too is KMFDM.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Di Crutzen, do you remember them?
I remember them. Holy shit, man! You're taking me back. I think
Yeah,
they did a Joy Division cover. I think they didn't do Isolation. I think one of them did Isolation. I can't remember which one it was.
I can't say for
Mhm.
sure, but I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah, for sure.
I just love working with you guys. You're so much creativity in our group, man. You guys are all artists, and like there's so much content creation here outside of just YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube is something like, at least for me, I was just something I'm doing, doing on the side for
Yeah,
fun,
yeah.
personal fun, just hanging out with,
Yeah.
the cool table guys, and then on the other side, my metal friends and everything, hanging out with them guys and just
Mm-hmm.
talking metal and talking about stuff we enjoy, that's, but we're all talented. I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm
Okay,
I'm
I'll pat
gonna
it for
have
you.
to.
I'll pat it for
I
you.
I I have released albums. I kind of can say, I done a little bit here and there. I
Well, no,
put out some
you and I are
records.
about the same age, so we're from that age generation, Gen X, and
Yes, sir.
we grew up on the same stuff. And I have an announcement to make. Necro and I have known about this for a couple of days now.
Oh,
Um,
yes. Yes.
so Necro and I gonna team up. We're gonna
Hmm.
have a show together called Pandora's Box. Um, this show is going to bridge a lot of our interests. We're going to go dig deep into horror, 80s horror, TV horror, metal, goth rock, just like really go comic books, just the works, just a lot of cool, dark, edgy stuff. So we're gonna be on the
Yeah,
edge,
we're gonna like focus on the darker side
the
of
darker
people.
side.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. We'll bring out dark side.
there
Yeah,
you go.
the real dark side, not James Gunn's upcoming reboot. But anyway, oops,
Good
oops, I
Lord.
just dropped the bomb. Oops,
Bomb.
bomb, bomb, oops, the wrong kind of a stink bomb. But
Yes. And when we open this Pandora's box, expect crazy things to happen, right, Mikey?
look at the marketing for the company. Will you open Pandora's box? It's just,
It markets itself.
there you go, there you go.
Oh
Um,
man, but
Zod and I had a great explosive show last night with the one and only I my Burnett, and which means we have another show to announce.
oh,
Zod and
that's
I
correct.
going to have a weekly show with Robert Meyer Burnett. We're just talking about everything possible. Last night got really crazy. That was nuts
Yeah, I
last
saw some of
night.
those topics, man.
Yeah,
You
that
covered
was
everything.
woo, got a little racy there for a while. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, what are you saying, man? I don't think those are. I don't think those are the. I don't think those are the kind of tacos that families talk about. But hey,
Hey. What type of tacos you doing on here? Yeah, it's funny, Mikey.
I'm completely innocent. I don't know these people.
I'm just here to order a taco.
There you go. There you go.
So
So,
I would. Oh man, Mikey, when you were a kid,
yeah, a scary
and
thought.
outside,
Story time.
yeah, outside of superhero
Yeah.
stuff, what type of comics and magazines did you read outside of the superhero
Oh,
stuff?
that's a. I love that question, dude. I seriously love that question. So when I was a kid, I was very eclectic, dude. A lot more eclectic than I am today. I had more free time, first of all, and everything was cheaper. I mean, comic books were 35 cents when I was got into it in '78. Um, mean, a lot of kids I knew, those who read comic books, they were either Marvel or DC. I was both. Okay,
Uh-huh. Same
I
with
grew up
me.
on both. Yeah,
This
same with
whole
you. Yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
DC thing is
I
something
never understood.
nowadays. Yeah, back then it didn't matter.
Doesn't matter. In fact, I would buy Charlton comics even when they smelled bad. You know, you ever notice how Charlton they smell? They smell horribly, and I think it's because they were going bankrupt. They had no money, so they had the cheapest paper like you can
Cheap,
find,
cheap
and they
paper.
stunk up the joint, man. Oh man, just God, it smelled. And so anyway, I actually bought Richie Rich. I didn't buy Archie though, but I bought Richie Rich. I bought Casper and Hot Stuff. I bought those, but I also bought a lot of DC's horror line. I bought House of Mystery, um,
Perfect.
Tales of the Unexpected. whatever I could find in terms of like horror comics because there weren't that many horror comics back then. Um, and in terms of magazines, oh boy, here you go. Um, the roots of my scooping and geekosity all came from reading Starlog magazine when I was a kid. Love Starlog.
Yes.
Fangoria, man, Fangoria was the best. The cool part about
Love
Fangoria,
Fangoria.
oh, isn't it great? And the cool part about Fangoria is that you can show people and gross them out with it. Like you're looking at ew, that's disgusting. You're weird.
All the good gore shots in the
Oh
pictures.
yeah. Hold
Yeah,
on a second. Hold on a second.
sure. So yeah, man, Fangoria, and then I remember getting like knockoff Fangorias like Slaughterhouse, the Gore Score, Gore Zone. There
Oh
was all
god, I
these.
remember Gorzone.
Do you
Yeah.
remember all those knockoff
Oh
Fangorias
hell
that
yeah.
came out?
Well,
Yeah.
do you remember Fantastic Films? I
Yes.
I bought Fantastic Films. I bought the UK one. Star. What's it? Star Brand. It was one from the UK. I think it was called.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I bought that. Obviously, Famous Monsters of Filmland.
Well, Famous
Uh,
Monsters was early.
oh
Yeah,
god, yeah, it
for
was
sure.
early. Yeah, Uncle
Yeah,
Forey, man. God bless his soul. He was just great man.
Horace
Um,
J. Yep.
yeah, so I bought all those and um anything sci-fi or horror or fantasy. I bought Twilight Zone magazine even. I was a fan of the show. I was a huge Twilight Zone fan. Um, in fact, we're going to discuss influences today. And Twilight Zone is one of my biggest influences of all time.
Oh
And
really?
oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And the fact that I have a TV show now, it just goes full circle. Me watching Twilight
It's
Zone as a
crazy.
kid, and just being. And what's funny, Necron? Some of the scariest episodes of Twilight Zone are very subtle. The one that spooked me out the most was the grandma calling the kid on the phone, the dead grandma, and
Isn't that
and
creepy?
it was creepy because it was the way the actors sold it, right? And there's no special effects in the whole episode.
Mm-mm.
You know,
But just the concept
yeah, it's
of
the
that.
concept. Like, the kids, the mother and father think the kids like, just like making up stuff, right? Talking to their grandma on the phone, and then they pick up the phone and they hear breathing on the other side. That scared the shit out of me as a kid, man. That was spooky. You know? Oh my
Well,
god.
they had to rely on making it scary without being fantastical.
There you go. There you go.
It had
Yeah.
to be atmosphere, and
Atmosphere, yeah. And I think what made the episode so creepy, Zod, is that it looks so normal. It was shot on videotape. There's nothing like it could be like real life, but then that's not made it much more spooky. And the fact that it was black and white made it creepier because it felt like a dream. You know,
yeah, it gives it that more
Mm,
surreal kind of.
surreal kind of look to it. Yeah,
Black and white
um,
always does that, puts you in a different mind frame.
yeah. And to this day, like I haven't seen that episode since what 81. I only saw it once. I never saw it again. It just creeps me out.
You're like, okay, I'm gonna turn it.
Like, okay, yeah, that's scary. Okay, so um, yeah, and so growing up, Necron, House of Mystery to me was I love anthologies, right? And so that was a big one for me. Cain and Abel and those characters. I love Man
Perfect.
Xanadu.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
the Tales Unexpected. But around 81, I was reading the Always Street Price Guide,
Oh yeah. I remember that. That was the
right?
Bible. Yeah.
Oh, there's a Bible, man.
Hmm.
And so I was reading about that, and I saw for the first time I saw these covers of EC Comics, and I was like, "What is this?"
Oh man.
When you first see like some of those covers, man, with that decapitated head, which we paid tribute to in Dreamwalker, by the way. Um, like just gory stuff, man, from the 50s. That really shocked me. Those books came out when even the Beaver was on. Like,
Well, because they got the escape with the comic code, right? Because
yeah, there's no comics code yet.
yeah.
And a little funny story about EC Comics. Um, the issue with a decapitated head. There's a man holding a decapitated woman's head, right? And so there was a Senate hearing about EC Comics at a time.
I remember reading about
Yeah,
that.
the Kefauver, I think is senator's name, um, was trying to get those books banned or something, or and so he put William Gaines, the publisher of EC Comics, they put him in court, right? And they had him try to defend that issue. He goes, "Do you feel this cover is in good taste?" Right? It shows the head, the guy holding a woman's chopped off head, and he goes, "Of course it's in good taste because we could have lifted the head up higher and you see the blood dripping from it." So,
Oh, that's great.
like, what a great argument, right? Well, at least, yeah, we could have showed the blood dripping from the head,
We showed restraint, man.
Restraint. There you go. There you
So
go.
we
Right.
could have went all out, bro.
They went all out, So like,
Yeah.
needless to say, he lost. So the comics code adopted, and basically, if that the whole comics code thing, Necron, was really to force EC out of business. Um, keep in mind that the people that created this whole investigation were other publishers.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, they created the comics code. The publishers created the comics code, and really they knew once the books were censored, they would take EC out of it, and EC was outselling everybody, right? And so
So they're
um,
just mad they couldn't crack them.
yeah, good crap, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the rules of the comics code were you couldn't show supernatural stuff, you couldn't show demonic stuff, and not just violence, but all the things that EC was publishing were now forbidden.
Like, what the hell are they going to talk about now?
Exactly. So
Because
yeah,
it's terrible.
it's terrible. And EC got kneecapped. Um, and it wasn't until the early '70s when Stan Lee put his foot down with the Spider-Man drug story, right? Um, he put his foot down and got permit, and he actually published those books without a comics code stamp. There you go.
Basically,
Um,
all the fun stuff was taken
yeah,
away.
you're taken away, And so after that, Stan Lee was able to use vampires again, which how Morbius came out, was because Stan Lee got the code to lift that ruling out. Otherwise, you'd never see Morbius.
I said that I did not know. I didn't know that part of the
Yeah,
history. I knew about the trials in the 50s. So does
yeah.
that explain why the explosion in the 70s of horror comics came back?
Ghost Rider, yep, all the Dracula, it all came about because those restrictions were lifted by Stan Lee. He got them lifted.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Because
so
that's when I started, like, I was like, I was born in, all right, everybody, I was born in 69.
yeah,
But I started finding all that stuff when I became a teenager, going back in the comic shops and
uh
looking at back issues, and I was like, this stuff is amazing. Like,
oh yeah,
Vampire's Tales, and Savage Sword of Conan and all these
dude, that's
things.
just the best, man. Savage Sword of Conan is the best. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that's like, it's like Conan the Barbarian comic, but without the restraint, as we said
Yeah,
earlier.
there's yeah,
That was
nudity in
sort of like
there.
it showed the heads flying
Got
off.
some nudity in there.
Yeah, it's a topless girl with Conan, and it was like just as awesome as a freaking teenager. Of course, I'm gonna love it. And then the magazines, the Tomb of Dracula magazine
Yeah.
tells of the vampire. Just all the magazine stuff, they could get away with so much more. The black and
Well,
white mags.
I tell you, before I discovered EC Necron, I discovered the books that were inspired by EC. I discovered the Warren magazines.
Oh, there you go.
Creepy and Eerie and Vampirella, man. Oh man, those take my dollars every single month. Wherever I can find them, I bought them. Yeah.
Those covers are always
Oh
on the
god,
money, too.
man. Yeah, Princetta and dude.
They sold themselves.
And they did. They did.
You just
And
look at it. I want that.
if I look at among the influences of Dreamwalker, I have to go back to Creepy and Eerie, because those were highly influential on me growing up, and they were my earliest experiences with comic book horror. That was unfiltered. There was, again, there's no comics code with their magazines. There's no comics code.
So you didn't have to worry about it.
No, not really, but then they were gory as hell. My favorite was 1984. Remember that? They were like a heavy metal knockoff, but they're actually better than heavy metal.
Ah,
Um,
nice.
they were like you're right. They were more metal than heavy metal because um, it wasn't just like those European comics went over my head. These were like just sleazy
You know,
trash.
I kind of relate to that because I always thought, I mean, heavy metal is awesome first,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But our creepies and Aries and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
of that
that was
nature,
the
that
shit,
was just
man.
like straight to the point,
Straight to the
you know,
point. Yeah,
gore,
exactly.
visceral,
There's no art. There's,
sexualized. I
there's
mean,
no art. It's just trash. It's pure trash, and I loved it. you know.
the pulps.
so, um, around 82, Necron, I was reading Famous Monsters actually. I still have my issue of this. I kept it all these years, over 40 years, and I still have it. They had in Famous Monsters, it's black and white magazine,
Yes,
but in the early 80s, before they were canceled, they are experimenting with color, and they have these little color sections in the issue.
I do
This
remember
one,
that vaguely. Yeah, a
yeah,
couple of pages being in
because yeah,
color.
like two or three pages, right? And
Yeah.
this particular issue, um, had a color section on an upcoming film called Creep Show, right? And it mentions the EC influences. That little color section blew me away, dude. And
Creep Show was highly
oh my god,
anticipated for
I
me, dude.
love Creep Show.
I
And
couldn't wait for that
oh
movie to
man,
come out.
I couldn't stop talking about Creep Show when I was a kid. That was my jam, you know. And the fact that Stephen King wrote it, and I was a huge Stephen King fan. I was the height of my Stephen King fandom right there.
It really
And
was
oh
because
yeah, right.
you got to remember back then, like Stephen King was like
He was
tops,
God, man. He was God.
tops. Like everybody was like Stephen King number one. That's
Oh
just the
man.
way it was. And then he's doing this old school EC horror style movie, like
Uh,
anthology.
oh
I was
god.
like, I am so there.
And King was metal, dude. He would quote like AC/DC in his stories and stuff. I mean, he's
Yeah. Oh, and then isn't like the Ramones one of his favorite bands
Ramones,
too?
yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
Ramones.
So you
Boys
know
for
he likes.
Cult was a big part of the stand, right? In fact, it was such a big part of the stand. They used Don't Fear the Reaper in the first miniseries of the stand. You know, um, but Stephen King was the first time I heard the word Sex Pistols ever. Right before I got into
Oh.
punk,
Hmm.
they were also in the stand. Um, but Creep Show was directed by George Romero. Like, dude, the two gods of horror, like teaming up on an EC project. You kidding me? So,
I mean, yeah. If you take a time machine, it's like oh my god, it's like a Fangoria wet dream to see
oh
like
god, it
Stephen
is
King and George
totally.
Romero
God.
working together. Like what? This is amazing.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, I got my cake.
Got my cake. I just
Love it.
fucking love that movie, man. so, um, when Creep Show came out, I went to the comic book store and I asked them, "Do you have any EC comics?" They're like, "Yeah, we do, kid, but sorry, you won't be able to afford them, right? But we have reprints." I'm like, "What reprints?" So
Well, sign
I
me up.
found
Where they at?
yeah, they're the back in the early '70s. They reprinted the some EC comics, um, and for like like $1, and but they were like smaller size because the original EC books were bigger. Um, but it didn't matter to me. Like my first EC comics, I still have them, man. I bought them, dude. I reread those over and over and over again. I couldn't stop rereading them. In the meantime, I saw Creep Show 3 times in a theater, and I saw it 10 more times on videotape. I could not stop watching Creep Show. Um, so
Oh yeah, I'm sure you were probably like this. We had two VCRs, and we
yeah.
would rent it and then record it with the other one.
Oh god, I didn't have enough money to buy two VCRs. I had one
Yeah.
though, which I played to death. We kept running the film over and over again. Um, and my mom goes, "So Creep Show again?"
Yes.
Look, it was $5 rental back then. That was pricey for for a kid. Like, well, there goes there goes like 4 comic books down the drain now. See Creepshow again.
Yeah, my brother was smart, and he was this. He always him and my dad. I they connected, right? And my
Yeah.
brother was always just talk my dad into do shit. So he actually talked my dad into getting the second VCR.
Oh wow, wow! You're lucky,
Yeah.
man. You're
Oh
lucky.
yeah, because I would get those then they found a way. We're gonna go off just a little. They found a
Sure.
way to the block you from dubbing them. What's up, Max? And they found a way, but then we figured it out. There was a little magnetic strip on the top of the top of the cartridge that flipped up. If you just pulled that thing off, you were good to go.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so we just pull that off, and all right, we're back to dubbing.
You know, kids today have no idea what we went through in that.
They don't. They
They
really
have
don't.
no clue,
They
man.
can just. Do they even care about physical media? I don't
I
even
don't think they
know.
do. They do. I
Yeah,
don't
as
think it.
long as it's a file, they're happy, right?
Well, they love vinyl now, though. There's the
That's true.
thing. They
That
do
is
love vinyl.
something
You know.
that has it was just so weird for me as a metal guy because metal bands have been making vinyl. It never really stopped for metal bands, like
Yeah.
underground
Yeah.
metal bands. But
Of course.
now,
Yeah.
and we were the only ones keeping these plants in business, underground metal bands and
Yeah.
hardcore punk bands and things like that. But now, since Walmart has a vinyl section,
What they do? Oh,
yes,
shit, didn't even know that,
our
dude.
orders are always on the back end. Well, maybe a half a year or a year. Isn't that great?
Uh, I always saw like Tool have vinyls. I mean, there were a few bands that kept putting out vinyl.
Yeah, but now you can get like the top 40 music on vinyl. It's weird.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I
Oh
remember,
yeah, that's a good call, Marcus. Frank
dude,
Frazetta, Bernie Rice, and they
man,
were they were the rock stars of the
they
back then. Their
were.
covers are amazing.
Noel Leon Flores, my Dreamwalker artist, was Bernie Wrightson was his hero. Okay, um, and in fact, like the Natalie Sanders variant of Dreamwalker #1 was a tribute to the first Swamp Thing appearance that he drew the cover of.
What a tribute, right?
Yeah, yeah, and Frazetta, huge fan of Frazetta. You just reminded me. You brought up Bernie Wrightson. You reminded me of an anthology series that came out around '83, called Twisted Tales from
Pacific
Pacific.
Comics.
There you go, Pacific Comics. There
I
you go.
love
You
those.
know
Those
it.
were
You know it.
great.
Oh my god, those are awesome. Like,
Those were great
like,
stories.
imagine eerie and creepy, but in color. That's how I
It's
felt about
basically what
it.
it is. Yeah. Bernie Wrightson's like love letter to those
Oh my god.
creepy and airy and EC and all that stuff.
God, I love that book. Yeah. If you want to talk about Dreamwalker influences, yeah, the Twisted Tales. Um, that's definitely in my bloodstream. Seriously.
That is so cool because I didn't know you were going to say that. I love Pacific Comics and Twisted Tales. Remember the cover with the great one with the chase? Well, Carl always some girl was always a
Yeah,
girl, some
yeah.
beauty. The guy chasing her with the axe and all the heads on his belt.
I was about to bring. It's a Bernie Wrightson cover. I was about to bring that up. That is one of the biggest favorite covers of all time. This guy has a
Me too.
belt buckle
I
with like
know.
heads on him.
Yes. And she's like, and he's like,
That's one of the greatest covers of all time. Oh my god, that was brilliant. Yeah, I still have mine.
me
Um,
too.
yeah, Bruce Jones, who was writing Kazar the Savage for Marvel, he wrote Twisted Tales. And God, man, the stories were great, just great. Man, there is an artist I'm thinking of that I can't remember his name now. Shit, how did I forget? He died. Richard Corbin. Richard Corbin did some Twisted Tales as well.
Okay.
He did the cover for Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, just Richard Corbin. Yeah.
That's amazing art.
Oh God, he.
I mean, No, like if you put that art on an album nowadays, you expect that album to be heavy as fuck.
Oh,
'Cause that's
exactly with
you
the
wouldn't
cover like
expect it to
that.
sound like Meatloaf. You'd be like, "Oh, this is gonna rule."
You know that's the kind of attitude I go into when I'm writing Dreamwalker now. Just thinking like, okay, it's gonna get heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Like
that's good.
you know, like that's especially true of issue two. Issue two, I just I let it all out, man. I wrote that during the pandemic, dude. I felt isolated. That was when all the streets were empty when I wrote that fucking story,
This
and
is
I
grim,
it's grim. It's really
very
grim.
grim. Yeah.
And you know the scene where they're in the family was in the van and the dead girls were outside. They're stuck in the van. That's how I felt during the pandemic when the pandemic was at its height. When the streets were empty, I felt like if I stepped outside, you know, death is waiting for me outside. That's how I felt. Um, you know, being a diabetic like I am, you know, with no spleen. I mean, I was felt very vulnerable during that time, and so
Mm,
I
yeah.
put all those feelings into that story. Little scoop for you guys on Dreamwalker. So the show is going to be very heavy on action. Okay, very heavy on action. There's gonna be some martial arts on the show, along with all the
Love it.
horror stuff. It's gonna be a heavy show. Um, you know, Kate's gonna go through some serious martial arts training.
Uh-oh. So we all better be careful how you approach her. She
So
might split your head open.
yeah, there's gonna be some pretty heavy stuff in there. And of course, Noel's excited because he loves all that martial arts stuff. I mean, like I'm writing issue three now. I don't even like describe the panels and do your martial arts drawing. That's all he's saying in the
Yeah.
script because he knows how to choreograph it. I have no fucking idea how to choreograph that stuff. You know, he does. And so, but yeah, she's gonna be doing a lot of training. Um, I wish I could tell you guys who the choreographer. I can't say a word of who the choreographer is, but you know, you guys will be very happy when you find out who it is. So, yeah, but yeah, the
Yeah.
show will be pure metal. So let's put it that way. I love
So
that
when you
intensity.
say,
Yeah.
because I'm a big fan of like horror action too.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I like the Blade stuff. I always
Oh
thought that
yeah.
was
Yep.
cooler.
Yep.
Um, where the werewolf vampire movies.
Oh yeah.
Um, I freaking God,
American
I get
Ralph in London, the Howling. I mean, I guess I just love that shit, dude.
but the ones the recent ones where they fight with the vampires and all
Oh
that.
God, what's that called? Was
Come
that
on,
Under?
somebody in the chat.
Was that Underworld? Was that Underworld?
Underworld. Thank
Yeah.
you. I enjoy that stuff too.
Yeah, it's fun,
I,
man.
I
It's
I like
fun.
that action horror, stuff too.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I know like sometimes they get a little ridiculous in some of the storylines, but
Yeah.
it's werewolf with vampires. Who cares, man?
Well,
That's what you want to see, right?
since we're on the vampires, let's talk about vampire films and influence Dreamwalker because I have vampires in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have Silver and Alice, who are vampires. I know the obvious, you know, guess would be the Lost Boys. Yeah, Lost Boys definitely. I love the film. But for me, my key vampire movie, Necron, is Near Dark, from 1989. It's like a Western vampire film. I think it was set in Texas, actually, somewhere in
Yes.
the south.
It had the dude from Aliens in it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm. It was kind of like I mean, it was a low budget vampire movie,
yeah.
but it was intense as hell. It was
It
really
was.
good.
It was. Yeah. So yeah, it was. I think it was directed by Catherine Bigelow, James Cameron's ex-wife, and she got. I think she got an Oscar for that. What's that film with Jeremy Renner? The bomb something.
Oh, the one where he diffuses the bombs, is that what we're talking about? Um, I could be wrong, but
Okay, what's it called? I guess the bomb something. I can't remember.
yeah, is it the
Maybe
one
someone
where
in the chat is. I
I'm
think she
sure
drank.
Todd will probably know, or someone in the chat
The
will
Hurt
know.
Locker. The Hurt Locker. That was it. The Hurt
There you
Locker.
go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I see
So
they got it.
yeah, I think she directed that one too. But Near Dark was this low budget horror western from '89 that was the influence on Dreamwalker, the vampire aspects of the character, more down to earth type of,
Very down to earth.
yeah,
Not
very
like
grounded, yeah.
they're not in like castles and
Nope.
all this stuff. Because yeah, these guys were like marauding across the countryside in a van
Yeah.
with but like with all the windows blacked out, like with
That's
curtains and
cool.
things.
That is cool. I just I love that aspect to it,
It's
and
very gritty, very gritty
very
movie.
gritty. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember the violence being insane in that film
Hmm.
too. Um,
Oh, remember when he gets burned up? Woo! He comes back and he's just
oh
all burned
yeah,
up.
yeah. That
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
cool.
Bill Paxton. Thank you.
Bill
Good.
Paxton. There you go. I haven't seen that film in a long, long time. Man, that was a good movie. Um,
What
so
other
yeah.
films have do you feel are influencing your Dreamwalker comic?
In terms of like the characters, what's okay, Necron. What movies have gone into the Necron character that's gonna be in there. Um, Combination of things as I'm starting to fill in your character, and I'm sure as the issues go forward, there'll be other influences that'll become more and more apparent. Um, One of the ones, Necron, is the Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Bride of Frankenstein is going to be an influence on Necron in the comics, and you're going to find
Wow.
out why when you start reading. And you find out why this is true. But I
Or now,
look
are you
back,
talking? I mean,
yeah,
character wise or story wise or both?
character wise,
Character
yeah,
wise. Okay.
yeah. And in terms of tone, like what I want to do is whenever the characters show up, there's a certain tone I take when I'm writing. It's different for each one. Like it's stuff with Cat as obviously more dreamy, right? Um, when Thibaut shows up, it's more Doctor Strange level, kind of mystical
Okay.
and things like that. And but with Necron, as I'm outlining the book in the future, I want to have that kind of somber tone whenever you show up. It's just that's how it's a heavy, kind of somber, kind of melancholy tone whenever Necron shows up. But it also has that element of fear in there as well that I want to put in.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
so when you start reading yourself in the comic book, you just think about those elements that I've strung along.
I will.
Because
That sounds interesting.
you know, so there's that.
Mikey
Uh,
kind of knows my backstory on certain things too, so that
yeah, I do. I
yeah,
do. Yeah.
I can see what's
The
going on.
melancholy, yeah, exactly, and so there is that. But when it comes to your action scenes, um, what I'm looking at as a model, Necron, is John Carpenter's The Thing. Um,
One of my all-time favorites.
Same here, same here.
That
Um,
movie blew my mind when I saw it. I couldn't
oh my god,
comprehend how they did it.
wow! Rob Bottin did the makeup effects in there, just
Yeah.
genius job. Um, it's one of the most memorable theatrical experiences with The Thing. Um, in fact, it's a film that I wish I had not seen a second time. It's a great movie no matter what. I mean, I still love the film, but nothing can top the experience I saw in the theater. Necron, I saw The
Me
Thing.
too. I was
Um,
like, "What the hell is
yeah,
this thing?
it was,
What? I mean, literally, what the hell is
yeah,
this
the
thing?
thing
What
is
is going
exactly.
on?"
Oh my god! So I saw it in '82. It was in Arizona. I saw it in a group in a military base theaters where I saw it. So I saw it
That
in a
must have been
theater
fun.
full of these macho GIs, man. Really macho GIs. And they're like, this shit can't be that scary. Come on, motherfucker. It can't be that scary. They're I hear them talk. I still remember their conversations leading up to the film. And the whole place is packed with GIs and shit, like being all macho, like, yeah. Come on, man, it can't be that scary.
Testosterone filled room,
Testosterone,
right?
oh god, it was pure
Yeah.
testosterone, right? And so I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, so I was already a convert. No matter what John Carpenter could do no wrong
Yeah.
in
Yes,
my mind.
yes. That's how we
Um,
were.
yeah, and so Went there, and then I fucking love the movie. Just fucking love the movie. Just going crazy over the film. Any film that opens up where they're trying to shoot this like this mutant dog in the beginning. Like what an opening for a film, right? It goes right into it, right into the action, you know. Um, then and then this macho crowd, man, they're just like, yeah, it's awesome. This kicks ass. Okay, sure. You get to the blood test scene, which is one
That's
of the most
still one of the most
intense.
intense
Holy
scenes in
shit,
the
dude.
movie because
Okay,
if you ever, first time watch it, you don't know what's
you
happening. You're
don't
like,
know what's
who
happening.
is it?
It's like
Yeah,
Russian roulette, right? It's like Russian.
yeah.
Dude, I'd say that the whole crowd was quiet. Was quiet night, right? All the guys, all the dudes were quiet, like holy shit.
Everybody's all into
Yeah,
it, man.
yeah, when that fucker jumped out of the blood. Holy shit! It's like fuck, they were scared. They were screaming their
Ah!
pants off. Like fuck, shit.
And all those guys are tied up, and
Oh,
they're like,
oh,
yeah.
oh, all these macho dudes, they were screaming, yelling, and you're like, and I was laughing my ass off, dude. All these macho dudes, man, they couldn't take it.
It's intense, man.
Yeah, dude, that was brilliant. I'll never forget that ever. I'll never forget the popcorn flying all over the place. You know, popcorn that was on me. And he's like, fucking, you know, it's- that film bombed because it came out the same summer as E.T. It's just the wrong timing, right?
Oh, the
And
the not so friendly alien.
that's really exactly. You know, you think of all the great films of '82, Blade Runner, The Thing. Those films bombed because they were up against ET. Um, but now
Yeah,
they're
ET.
classics, you know.
ET was like one of the first like bona fide mega blockbusters
It
too.
was, it
I
was.
mean, it was just wiping out everything.
Everything. You even wiped out Star Wars, which made me mad. but um, but you think of '82, and you had the Road Warrior came out that summer, dude. That summer was
82
so damn.
fucking rocked,
Star
dude. That
Trek
was one of
Two,
the
Star
best
Trek,
years in theater
and then Creep
or
Show came
cinema.
out in October. Like, come on, man.
It was just one banger after another.
Oh my
Bam,
god.
bam, bam,
And
bam.
so, which leads me to another influence, um, which will be apparent in issue 4, is when this film, you can tell this film inspired this issue of Dreamwalker, was Poltergeist. Um,
Oh,
that is one of the scariest movies I ever saw. That movie just preyed on whatever childhood fear that you had, right? Like
it does.
the trees coming through your the tree, right? In Dreamwalker, there you go.
Yeah, because everybody had
Y-
the tree. Well, I should
yeah,
assume everybody, but a lot of
yeah,
people had the tree that blew in the wind that banged
yeah.
against your window all
Of
night.
course, that's creepy.
Yeah,
And
like what is that? What
so
is
if
that
you
shadow?
notice, yeah, if you notice, the tree plays an important role in Dreamwalker. Because Thibault, he travels through trees, and but that's us. The
Uh,
poltergeist influence,
got it.
the Baleti tree, which is what it's based on. I didn't discover this Necron until like after I'd written it already. This tree in the Philippines strangles other trees. I kid you not. They kill trees. The tree kills the trees.
It's like an invasive army or something.
Exactly, yeah. And so like holy shit, no wonder it's so no wonder it looks so damn creepy,
Wow.
you know? Um but yeah,
And
that
then
was
remember that and also the other one too, your toys coming to life, they turn
yeah,
against
yeah,
you.
that's just
That's a
that's
childhood fear for me.
oh my god, man, you know? Oh yeah, what's under the bed? You know,
Yes, that fucking clown.
the clown, you know, like oh god, you know. And then you know like what's in the closet, you know what I mean? And the one that creeped me out as I got older was the scene where he's shaving and his flesh is falling off. Dude,
um,
yeah, yeah. As a kid, I couldn't relate, but my brother-in-law, that scared the shit out of him. You know, as I got older, man, you know, yeah. I don't shave in the middle of the night anymore. I still get creeped out. You know?
wait
unless,
till the morning.
unless I forget Joe Beth Williams falling in the swimming pool full of skeletons.
Oh, and they all start floating up
Oh God, you know.
and what a great idea for the movie. Oh yeah, we just went ahead and built on the grave of an Indian burial ground.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, that to me is still the best haunted house movie of all time because it's so mundane. It just feels like it's so normal until things
Yeah,
get weird.
it's not, yeah, it's not fantastical,
Yeah,
especially,
no,
but it does build up to an insane
it does build up
climax.
to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and one of the scenes that got to me is very subtle. Um, it's in the very beginning of the film when she's talking about the. I think she's talking to a ghost hunter or something. And if you notice carefully, her hand is shaking like she's holding a cup. Like like that's brilliant. That
Yeah.
little detail like that, it makes you like feel that it's really happening in front of you. And um so that was influence on Dreamwalker. I still think it's one of the scariest films ever made.
And also
Uh,
the child, like, especially back then with,
yeah.
TV was really exploding with
Oh
cable.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so the child being trapped in the TV was something I think a lot of people back then could like, wow, that'd be weird if that happened,
yeah,
because you got to understand, like, that's literally when the explosion of cable TV happened.
yeah,
So you had all these, you went from like what, 3 or 4 or 5 channels the most to like, 30, 40 channels. And
yeah,
that was all mind blowing. So you were on your TV more
yeah.
back then. At least I was.
I was glued to
Yeah,
TV.
yeah, you had MTV now, you had,
Yeah.
all, HBO,
Oh yeah. And the thing about that scene is, I don't think kids today are used to seeing static on their TV like we were kids. You know, like at midnight,
Yeah,
the channel would sign
good
off.
night. Yeah,
Would
good
sign
night.
off, and
You'd
it's
wake up in the middle of the night with the TV static,
yeah,
yeah,
like, yeah, they're here. Like, oh shit, I'm out.
yeah, I forgot after watching Poltergeist, fuck that, turn that
It's
shit
like,
off real quick.
yeah, it turned out really quick, you know. And there was a tree behind where we live, like in the windows. I couldn't sit there after seeing Poltergeist. It scared the living shit out of me. And so, um, another influence on Necron was Alien, Ridley Scott's Alien,
The
um,
original,
the original, the first one, yeah.
now
And
that's another movie, even though it does have its visceral moments, it's
yeah,
all about the just the concept, like,
yeah,
you're stuck on this ship
yep,
with this predatorial alien,
yeah.
and there's no help anywhere.
There's no help. You're out in the middle
Yeah,
of
you
nowhere,
have
you
to
know.
you have to confront it or you're gonna
Yeah,
die, one or the other. That movie was intense, dude. I got lucky, man. My parents would take me to these movies.
yeah, yeah. Same
It,
here.
and some parents, my friends, they would get so mad at me because I get to see all the cool movies they weren't allowed to see.
Remember,
And I'd be like, sorry, but hey, my
my,
parents are cool. What can I
my
say?
my sister, older sister, saw Alien before I did. And I just never forget. She was telling me that there are vagina like openings in the film. Hold on, Nick.
Sure. Yeah, man. Alien, and also another thing, perfect with Alien is the soundtrack. It sets so much mood for that movie.
Yeah.
Right, the soundtrack just
Yep.
very bleak, very grim again.
Yeah,
Just
it was very atmospheric and kind of just
I mean, it really adds a lot to the movie.
yeah. But the scene that spooked me out the most about Alien, and in fact, now I see Alien influencing the Thing. If you think about it, kind of isolation and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of us might have the alien side, that type of thing going on. Was a scene where Sigourney Weaver Ripley goes into this pod or something, and the alien is like lying there and just like waiting for her, and I just like that scene just creeped me out as a kid in the theater, you know.
well, because that's something that, like, those type of creatures in
Yeah,
movies, they always,
yeah,
like, for me, they creep me out because there's really no reasoning with something like that.
yeah,
Its only thing is basically to eat you or whatever. It
yeah,
doesn't care about your feelings or your side of the story or anything. There's this, like, the human becomes so fucking small on the food chain. In those movies. I think that's what always creeped me out, like something like the Alien, the 1988's The Blob was another one. Like, ooh, there's this weird thing that goes around,
oh
consuming
yeah,
everybody,
yeah,
and
good film.
so. That's what for me, those type of like creatures in those movies always gave me the weird because there's it's not like I would say a vampire or something like that where you can talk to it. You know what I mean? Maybe trying to reason your way out of it. These things are just like down to business. It's going to eat you and
Oh
consume you.
yeah, I mean, get out of his way, or be killed or taken over, whatever.
Yeah,
There's no reasoning, nothing. I mean,
and that
yeah,
scene too in Alien when she's in the pod and how it's blending in with all
yeah,
the cording and the wires of all the ship and the arm just sticks out, right? Is it the arm that comes out real quick or something
yeah.
happens? It's a jump scare, like holy shit, it's in there, and you're like,
Yeah. Well, I tell you, man, and H.R. Geiger's just designs were they're just frightening. I mean, um,
have you ever seen his Necronomicon?
yes, yes, yes. I had a friend who had it, and
Oh, it's
there's
wild, dude.
sexual imagery.
Yep.
I can't get rid of my sister says. I remember it, and I couldn't I couldn't unsee it, Necron. Like every time I saw it opening, yeah,
You-
okay, yeah. Reminded me of what I saw on the wallpaper, right? Little story time reference to your old schoolers out there.
yes, sir.
Alien was so those are the elements that create Necron in the
Wow,
comic
well,
book.
those are insane. I
So
love it.
you're gonna see there. And since Fox is here, what influenced the character of Socks? And um, Socks in the comic book is a necrophiliac fetishist who collects the socks of dead people. And but it's not a sexual thing. It's their way of memorializing these people who are gone. And and I don't want to ruin too many things. When some people know already what Socks is going to do in the book,
Yeah.
um, but what inspired Socks? And so obvious influence to me is Rorschach in Watchmen in the comic book, and also Zack Snyder's movie. I think Jackie Earl Haley would make a perfect Socks.
Ooh,
If ever. Anyway,
if ever.
if ever. But that kind of dark vision that he had, the way his look at the world, kind of a bleak way. Um, I see that in Socks, but Socks, the difference is Socks able to overcome that. Um, overcome that darkness and find some light in the world. In the world, which is why his character is so important to the book. To the book, and so, but in terms of Sokka's presence, but Sokka does not kill people. That's the thing. He does not kill anybody in the book. He
So
doesn't
he's
feel
not a murderer.
he's not a murderer, not at
Okay.
all. And so, but at the same time, it's weird that he collects socks from dead people. So the challenge for me, Necron, is to make Socks a very lovable character, which I love. I love doing. Like you can't help but like the guy, even though he's got this weird kind of fetish. It's bizarre, it's disturbing, but he's a moral sinner, though. Um, but in terms of his presence, like when people see Socks, if they
I think we lost Mikey. For the back, Mikey.
when people see Socks, because they know what he does, they know his collection. I want them to be scared of him, and so what I'm doing in writing Socks, which will be more apparent as the book goes along. Um, my inspiration is Michael Myers.
Oh wow.
Halloween. Even though he's not a killer, but people are that afraid of him when they see him.
So yeah, because Michael Myers has that like grim factor too as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Where but he's has no personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just what they call him, the shape, right?
The shape exactly. Kind William
Yeah,
Shatner mask on. That's
yeah.
exactly what it
The
is.
William Shatner mask. The
So,
shape, like that's what they called him back in the day. The
yeah.
shape, Michael Myers.
So yeah. So those are my inspirations for Socks. Um, he agrees.
He
So,
loves it.
but in terms of because I'm also visual like Noel. I imagine these characters in my head and how they're gonna be showing up. Because Sock is very quiet, and you guys haven't read his character yet, but he's very
Yeah.
quiet in the book. And he's very subtle. But once you know this guy collects socks from dead people, people think that he actually killed them. No, no, Sock doesn't kill. Okay, he might look for your corpse, but he's not gonna kill you. Okay, so
But you're long gone. You don't know.
you don't know anyway. So yeah, he keeps your memory alive. When people see him, though, they run. I mean, like, oh my god, it sucks, and the cops can't arrest him. So what's his crime? He doesn't, I guess there's some minor crime for stealing the
The
socks
socks,
from dead people.
maybe from the crime scene or
But
something.
but
But
he's
that's
not
about it.
manhandling them or anything. I mean, he's not like doing it with them. You know what I mean?
He's not doing what most people do with their dirty socks.
Yeah, he does wait, and Socks has the first appearance in issue 3, and oh my god, this is hilarious. Oh my god, because the reader does not know that when Zod dies, he gets revived, and so Zod dies. Like I told Zod, I said, Zod, every time you're gonna appear, count on it, you're gonna die at the end. That's just how it is. Okay, it's like a running gag. Who killed Kenny? Type of thing. And so
So Zod gets resurrected each time he dies.
each time he dies, and he dies
Okay.
every time he appears. Doesn't matter
Oh,
if it's
so
a
okay, yeah, totally. Who killed Kenny?
so it's a challenge for me as a writer. How do I kill out Zod every issue that he appears in? Because he will die in between story arcs, even
Oh, damn.
something random, like he gets run over by a car, like furniture falls on his head. Anything can happen. Yes, especially in the Dreamwalker world, which is dangerous. Um,
I
so
guess that's a good power to have in the Dreamwalker world.
there you go, right?
Yeah, I mean, because at least you know you're coming back.
so,
What I
so
want to know, Mikey, is how big is this issue gonna be? Right?
um,
Giant size annual number one, or
well,
what is
okay.
going on?
I will announce this now. Issue 3 is done. I've written issue
Oh,
3. It's
oh,
finished. Yeah.
is that
Now,
why Noel's not harassing you in
well,
the
no,
chat?
he doesn't know. He doesn't know yet. I'm
Oh,
going
okay.
to give it. I'm going to give it another read through. I'm going to tweak some things. So the first draft is done. It's easy going back and just fixing things and perfecting things, making sure everything logically will go into the next issue. But I written issue 3. I had a deadline for myself. That for last night, and I was able to do it. But the ending of issue 3, it actually ends with socks, and it's Zod, and so that's when Zod. Spoiler alert if you don't want to not listen to this part. Like I said, it's spoil it. Um,
Spoiler coming up. Warning.
so okay, you know what? I'll just leave out. I'll leave out how Zod died, but Zod, you die. Okay, you know this already. You're gonna die every issue that you're in. Um, so Zod said he's in the ambulance, and Sock is a medic. Okay, of course he's a
Oh,
medic.
that's how he's getting
'Cause of
access.
course
Oh,
you get
yeah.
access to socks, right? And
Mhm.
so so Zod's body's covered up with this blanket over his head. So they covered up his face, and so Socks has no idea who this is, right? So he's all alone in the ambulance. He grabs Zod's feet and starts to pull off his socks, and then takes out the covers like Socks. What the fuck are you doing here? It sounds like shit.
He's
He,
like, what the fuck?
he throws the sock across the ambulance. That's how it ends.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
that's, and then that's how we introduce the Zod socks chemistry there. And this whole time Sock is waiting for Zod to die, to actually really die, so he can collect the socks.
So he's like just hang. Is he like just hanging around,
He just
making
hangs around. You're like, okay,
like, man, when is this guy really
will
gonna die?
will
I
this
want
be
those
the
socks.
one? Will I finally get my chance?
What a friend.
There
Waiting
you
for you to
go.
die to
There
get your
you
socks from you.
go.
Each time Zod wakes up, what the hell are you doing? Leave my socks alone, weirdo.
so, so Sky, okay, another character in the book, Skywalker, the Jedi. So his influence is Darth Maul is a big influence on Sky. So is Darth Vader. Um, that kind of intense power. This guy's got a butt of fire. He's also, you know,
Skywalker the Sith.
yeah, and you'll be fighting him, Necron. So,
Oh, I
and
mean, I heard about this.
you're gonna see the thing influence on fire, and when you guys fight, that thing influence on his ice world and everything. That's gonna be there. That's gonna be there on your
Now
ice
I'm
world.
starting to see why it's an ice world. Okay.
Yeah, see, it's a whole
Yeah.
thing and being in the cold and everything.
Fire
Um,
and ice.
yep, the
The thing
whole.
was in the Arctic or the
Yep,
Antarctic. Yeah.
yep. There you go.
Mhm.
So those will be very apparent. Going forward. Um, I also like the idea of making Sky kind of like the boogeyman as well. But imagine, like Darth Maul meets the boogeyman. That's just because these are scary people.
That sounds
He's
pretty threatening, pretty intimidating.
yeah.
A boogeyman Darth Maul, because Darth Maul is already a mega badass.
He's very big a badass. But
Yeah.
imagine Darth Maul hiding in your closet. Okay, so there's a little bit of Candyman in Sky as well. Um, so all those
That's another
influences.
cool movie, by the way.
Yeah, Candyman. Hell yeah.
Candyman's great. Those
Hell yeah. What's your name? Virginia Madsen. Um, so all those influences are in Sky as well, and I can't wait till you guys see all these characters show up. I mean, especially you, Necron, because you're in issue 3. Um, you're in Silver's Cave at the end.
yeah,
It
Silver Cave sounds like it's an interesting place.
yeah. Well, I wanted to give Silver a kind of a headquarters, someplace to hang out.
Uh-huh.
And I
Well, yeah,
figured,
you gotta have a
okay, the
a
bat,
legion of super
vampires.
villains hangout area, right?
Exactly. I mean, there is the cold table, but that's more of a public area. But the cave is where Silver maps out, his strategies and everything with Alice, and Savage Bat is in there as well. That makes sense. Um, and so and then, they're brothers. Silver and Savage Bat are brothers. So,
Okay.
but you're in there as well. Um, and the cave is a place that Zod is trying to find. He knows there's gotta be some place.
Some type of hangout. Or not
Hangout.
hangout, but headquarters, right? It's more like a
Headquarters, yeah.
headquarters.
Yeah, where he
It's
maps
like a
out.
syndicate headquarters.
There you go. There you go. And Zod can't find it. He can't find this place. Um, and he gets distracted all the time because, he's in this area where, hold on.
Sure. So it sounds like, the Monster Club, I guess we'll call it for now, has a secret headquarter hideout where we plot our
Yeah.
evil plans of whatever the hell we're gonna do.
Oh, yeah. And Tavel is unleashing all these monsters in the area, and how are they going to fight all this stuff? So, um, you need a headquarters to map out everything, and so,
And
um,
Silver's, I mean, not to give too much away, because
yeah,
I think you might already said this, so I don't think I'm
yeah,
saying anything new. But we're warring, right, with the other group of vampires
yeah.
or
The
something.
local vampires, yeah, the Aswangs, which is the regional
Okay.
vampires in the country, because Silver is an invasive species. He's an American vampire, and he's taking their blood supply. Like, get out of here, dude. You're
And
taking
they're like, "Hey, why are you over here messing in our
yeah,
land?
exactly.
This is our
And
territory."
if you notice, there's a drug war correlation here as well. So,
Yeah, I get a little gangland
a little
activity going
gangland
on.
act. There you
Yeah,
go. There you go.
very cool.
Because I like to play with multi-genre type of inspirations. Um,
Yeah, just like the
and
action horror. I like that. I like that take too.
I want to add before I forget, Necron, because it's not a horror film. But your character owes a lot to Mr. Freeze from Heart of Ice on
Is that
Batman
the?
animated series, which is one of the
Oh,
biggest influences for me as a storyteller. Um, I,
that's a
s-
great one.
I see
That's
my
probably one of the
Nora
top.
with frozen eyes. I mean, it's just a melancholy of that episode. Is going to be in your story, Necron. So just want to
Oh
add
my
that to
goodness.
it. So, and it's again, it's not a horror film, but to me, it's probably the most tragic characters I ever saw anywhere. Um,
Yeah, well, that's I always thought too that what makes a good villain is a
yeah,
tragic event made them. They weren't
yeah,
they weren't just like this evil thing right out the gate. Something happens
yeah.
to
Something happens to
turn
them.
them. That's like usually your best villains
Yeah.
because they were good at one point, but then something happened that triggered the event that
Well,
turned them
as
into an evil
uh,
entity.
as Joker said in the Killing Joke, all it takes is one bad day,
One bad
right?
day.
And that's all it takes, right? And yeah, I have an origin too. I have a couple of origins actually for myself. Um, but of the monsters in the book, those are, and I consider Socks a monster in a way. Those are the inspirations for the characters. Um, then you have just the regular gangsters like Neo Sevens, who's actually heavily inspired by Gambit. Um,
Oh, cool.
so he's kind of like my Gambit. I consider Neo Sevens to be my Howard Chaykin type of character. If you guys read the Howard Chaykin's work, like American Flag, kind of the swaggering macho dude, that's
Gotcha.
very intelligent. That's just slick and gets away with things. That's Neo Sevens. Um, but I love my monsters though. You guys are fun to write. Um, it's really scary. Neo Seven's not scary. He's a master strategist. He's able to outsmart a lot of people. But
Oh,
the way I'm writing Neo Seven is like if I'm writing Gambit, is how I write him.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
And and the way Marcus acts, I can kind of see the correlation in that.
yeah.
I think that's a really good call.
And I was really into numerology. About a decade ago, I was really fascinated by numerology, and numerology plays a role in Neo Seven as well. And you guys are gonna you're gonna get some really different like type of references. It's very meta all the way.
Fucking cool. So cool, Mikey.
um, anyway, I
It's
have
actually
to.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. It's actually cool just to have a comic made by a massive comic guy.
Thank
I
you,
love it.
and a
I
music
love it.
guy as well, because I want to have a sound. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post the songs that I was listening to while writing issue three. Um, Rain by the Cult is one of them.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's one of the most melancholy songs
oh
ever.
god, and because there's a lot of it rains all throughout issue three. There's a common theme with rain.
Okay.
Issue three. I gotta mention a song called "Happy Nightmare Baby" by Opal. There's LA band, a very psychedelic group. Kind of like Susie and Banshees a little bit, but more 60s oriented. They have a song called "Happy Nightmare Baby," which the story is named after. The story is called "Happy Nightmare Baby." And you'll find out why. You'll find out
Okay.
why it's called that. I don't want to ruin that part about it. Um, but that's one of the songs that I listen to over and over again. Um, Opal became Mazzy Star, which you guys know for "Fade Into You." They changed singers and they became Mazzy Star. If you guys check out "Happy Nightmare Baby" by Opal on YouTube to get an idea what issue 3 is gonna feel like. Um,
Okay. Happy Nightmare Baby
yeah.
by Oval. That's what
Anyway,
we.
you know what else I've been listening to lately for some reason is the Zombies, the '60s band, the Zombies.
Damn,
Like,
that's a reference I haven't heard in a long
oh
time.
god, yeah. Like she's not there. Hold on, Necron.
Sure. So as you can see, Mikey, not just in the comics. One day, well, I guess we'll talk about it on my show. Mikey's music knowledge is insane as well.
Oh yeah, I love music and all that plays a role. Yeah, Fade into You. That's the band that Opal became. They became Anti Star. Um,
Can you say too? I think back in at least in the 80s, I
yeah.
thought comics and music kind
Um,
of were just something that went like hand in hand.
of course, yeah,
You know,
yeah, and
you get you some new records and get you some new comics or the
oh hell
magazine,
yeah,
and you were set for the weekend.
that's it for the weekend. Yeah, and and I'm not the only one who was. It was heavily musical influenced as a comic book writer. Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore. Alan Moore worked with David J from Lemon Rockets. They actually put out some music together.
Wow.
Um, Neil Gaiman, obviously,
Yeah.
Sandman looks like Robert Smith from The Cure.
I
Death looks
mean,
like Suzy Sue. I mean, it's just pretty
straight
obvious.
up,
Straight up,
just like them. Yeah.
Grant
There's no
Morrison
argument.
Grant Morrison was quoting REM. He was quoting the Smiths. I mean, those guys really brought the musical element into comic books. I just want to continue that tradition. Um, and let's not forget, Anthrax did a song about Judge Dredd. I mean, you know,
Hey, that's one of my favorite Anthrax songs still.
there you go, there you go.
I love Judge Dredd, man. Judge Dredd.
He's awesome, awesome character.
I'm gonna actually do a show. Well, a friend of mine in another band who's the freaking Judge Dredd maniac. I gotta do that
Oh
special.
wow.
And he has some of the coolest Judge Dredd stuff that you can imagine.
I think what I think Judge Dredd also plays a role in Sky as well. I mean, there's these disparate influences. They're not horror, but they're definitely in there, and
Well,
they're in my bloodstream. You know what I mean?
the Three Dark Judges. Remember that
Oh God,
storyline?
hell, Judge Death
That
and
Judge Jeff, Famum,
God,
Rigor Mortis, all whatever.
Brian Boland's
Fire.
artwork. Oh my God, Brian Boland he was dope, man. God.
Yeah. Yes. So
Yeah.
fucking cool. And that remember when they went to their dimension where they destroyed the whole world as this dead. And that's why they came to our dimension. They came to our dimension to judge more of the living because the crime is life.
Yeah, I can really see the influence on
That's
Skywalker.
Full
Yeah, definitely there. It's definitely there.
The crime is life. The sentence is death. We're reading this in the 80s.
Mind blowing stuff. I just want to blow people's minds, like I was, back then. Anthrax is great, just absolutely great band. Some of the great songs. Um, but guys, I want to thank you and Necron for letting me be around tonight. I have to head out and
yeah, same here.
Work on Dreamwalker. So, but next week, guys, our new show, Pandora's Box, will debut.
Pandora's Box will debut, and anything in the Pandora's Box, we will talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about TV horror. I want to talk about some of my favorite TV horror stuff. Night Gallery and other horrifying TV shows I grew up on. Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt. I like Tales from the Dark Side. We were talking about earlier, not to hold you much longer. Tales from the Dark Side, Monsters, Freddy's Nightmares. I used to watch all that crap, dude.
And how many people remember Dark Room? That's really obscure.
Dark Room is a deep cut.
That's a deep, deep cut. Do you remember? Holy shit! What was that show on HBO? Was it called The Hitcher? Was it The Hitcher? Holy shit!
Hey, you remember Werewolf on Fox?
Yes, I love that show.
Werewolf looked great. That was a killer show.
I love that show.
Night Gallery, look, you beat us to it. There you go.
Night Gallery had one of the creepiest episodes again I've ever seen. We'll discuss that next week. God, Tales from the Crypt was great. Dark Shadows. You know what? Dark Shadows I read about as a kid, but it wasn't on my channels back then.
Yeah, I think I didn't get it either. I just saw the movie when they would show it like on Halloween, but the actually syndicated show, it was long gone. But by the time I was able to watch TV. But I enjoyed like the Munsters and the Addams Family and all
What
those.
did that car? Holy shit, dude!
Oh yeah, Herman's car is awesome, dude.
God, that's badass.
If you had that,
Yeah.
and I even as a kid, I always thought Lily was hot. So I was
Oh yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
Lily and
Oh,
Morticia, you know,
where did come on, man? It's metal, dude.
who wouldn't
Yeah.
not like that? Of course, they all got their knees cut off when Elvira came around. Like, okay, she wins.
Elvira was the best. Okay,
Yeah.
just adored her. You know.
So yeah, we'll have plenty of fun stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah. So weekly show, guys, please support us. You know, I'm gonna promote this on my socials and everything. We're gonna go far with Pandora's Box, Necron and I. We're gonna have a lot of fun, dude, guys. Doing
Yeah,
that.
we'll have fun once a week. It'll pop up when we can make it happen, but it will happen once a week, guys.
And I'll bring on some guests, someone from the horror field. Surprise
I would
Necron.
love that. That'd be fun.
Surprise Necron with them.
Yeah, don't even let me know. Just look, what? Who's there?
What?
I love it. Well, Mikey, thank you for coming by
Thank
again
you,
and doing
Necron.
part 2, man, and talking about Dreamwalker and
Yep,
all your
always a pleasure.
businesses. All right, everyone. That's the show. I'm gonna hit the outro here, and thanks everybody tuned in. Appreciate the chat. You were on fire and a lot of cool comments and just keeping it active. I appreciate it. And
Awesome.
if you can, like and share it and let everybody know about it, and
Woohoo.
that way they'll find out about the new show too. Okay, thanks a lot.
See you guys.
We're out.